Teenage Fanclub, Endless Arcade album review. Let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this latest from Scottish power pop, indie rock, Jangle pop legends, Teenage Fanclub, whose early work actually I consider myself to be a pretty big fan of. A Catholic Education, Bandwagon S, as well as Grand Prix have been really big for me as far as early 90s indie rock albums go. There's just such a carefree nature to the music of Teenage Fanclub, and they just have such a knack for writing just genuinely accessible, catchy tunes that also still had a little grit to them as well. But by the early 2000s, I found myself, not nearly as into Teenage Fanclub's music. Albums like Man Made and Howdy, I just thought had become so bland. Everything that was once so accessible and easy to take in about the band just seemed very average. I will say this though, some of their last few albums haven't been that bad. Shadows and Here, well, honestly not as groundbreaking as some of their early 90s material, honestly are just really nice albums that are easy to take in, super light on the ears, very catchy and well written too. And I was hoping to hear some more of the same on this new one, Endless Arcade. Not only that, but I did enjoy a lot of the singles on this album. And truth be told, when they're true to themselves and the classic sound, I think this is a fine album. Like, take for example this album's start, Home. This is fantastic. All around, this is just a feel-good, breezy jam that reminds me of everything that I once loved about Teenage Fanclub. This is just carefree, well-written power pop with a serious jam thrown in. I mean, yes, it is over 7 minutes long, and that's intimidating, but I will say this. This is a great example of a band like this who is so far into their career, how, maybe staying inside their comfort zone for a little while is maybe the right move. It works, and it works so well. It just warms my heart. And honestly, this album's title track, Endless Arcade, is pretty darn good too. I mean, shocking. Teenage Fanclub can write very easy to take in, carefree, breezy indie rock and jangle pop tunes. Who knew? I love the harmonies here. The group vocals are a really nice addition as well. And lyrically, I love the hell out of this track. This seems to be a really viable direction for them right now. Everything is Falling Apart, also really love this. It's pleasant and it's upbeat and it's genuinely one of the catchiest tracks here and well written too. It's also one of the more straightforward tracks here, but that's not a bad thing. This is Teenage Fanclub doing what they have done best. But for a few short minutes, I don't hate that. And personally, In Our Dreams might be my favorite track here. This has such a fresh riff and a breezy atmosphere that I love. I mean, I will say this, on tracks like this, songwriting is a little one-dimensional, but I think they own it, and this is just all around a really fresh track. Like, if you enjoyed albums like Hope and Shadows, give this a shot. Sadly, though, this album is not as consistent as either one of their two last ones. We get these weird, glaring tracks like Warm Embrace, and this can be used as an example of why they shouldn't be sticking in their comfort zone. This track is dated upon arrival, it is way too sunny, and from a guy like me who loves his power pop and jangle pop, ultra sunny, that's saying something. And The Sun Won't Shine on Me is just so inoffensive. Who told Teenage Fanclub to just start blatantly ripping off sunshine pop of the 70s, but in the most boring way possible? Like, I've got nothing to say about this. This album is chock full of very breezy, feel-good moments, but this is not it. Come With Me is not helping either. This track is bland. I'm all for the breezy, light on the ears, easy to take in music of Teenage Fanclub, but this just does not move me. Back in the Day is not good either. The Sunshine 70s is back, but it's just even more bland this time around. It's too breezy, it's too light, and even the harmonies, which were actually a big selling point for me earlier, are just not moving me at all now. And when we get tracks like The Future and things go from ultra sunny to ultra quiet, things get even worse very quickly, and I'm asleep by the end of this track. And Silent Song as a finale probably isn't the worst track here. I mean, compared to some of the other tracks here that go for a softer approach, this isn't half bad. And lyrically, it's not that bad either, but I've just heard so much in this vein, this softer throwback style, and it's just so boring. I'm so beyond it by this point that I don't know, I'm not into it. I mean, yeah, there are some late album treats, but overall, I'm let down by this. I want to like this album more. I'm More Inclined is actually one of my favorite tracks here. This is an adorable, sentimental track that reminds me so much about what I liked about them to begin with. It's so catchy, it's so likable, it's so instantaneous. When Teenage Fanclub really focused, they could still be just as consistent as they've been. And Living With You is really nice too. I mean, it is amazing what just a little extra oomph can do, because this track has a little bit extra of a crunchy riff underneath. And yes, this is still sort of a throwback of a track in ways, but there's just a little bit of ruggedness to it, and I like the whimsical nature of this track, and it makes it work. So look, there's a handful of tracks on here, especially the singles, that show Teenage Fanclub, when they are focused, can be just as instantaneous and breezy, and writing some of their catchiest material in a while. As a matter of fact, a lot of this is just as solid as, say, their last two albums. But I don't know who told Teenage Fanclub they could just rip off the Sunshine sounds of the 70s, but it's just not cutting it for me. As a matter of fact, it makes the second half of this album really bloated and kind of puts me to sleep. I personally wish I could have liked this album a lot more, but for now, I'm feeling a strong 6 on this album. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.